Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with our previous chapter that we were learning. We are learning about the Constitution of India. Now, before we move forward, let us have a recap of what we had studied in this chapter. Now, in this chapter, we studied about the real existence of our Constitution of India. In what way and what was the reason behind for the adaptation or enactment of our constitution, where the framers of the constitution, important people or leaders during that time, took initial uh, or played an important role to see that our own laws, our own country's laws, rules and regulations are being made, and we stop adopting or practicing the earlier law that were made or left behind by the Britishers. Now, India was free from the British rule, but still their rules were prevailing for a certain period of time. To remove those rules and regulations, a new set of rules and regulations were adopted, which was called as the Constitution of India, that is the law book of India. Important people like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the drafting committee chairman, and certain other adjoining important personalities like Sarojini Naidu, Jawaharlal Nehru. Then you have various important people who took active part, and not only this, various other people from different fields were called upon to bring about a better enactment of the constitution. And in such way, what happened? A constitution was drafted. Now it took about 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, a long period of time for the constitution to get ready, that we studied. Now the next was that we discussed is about the preamble. Now what was the preamble? The preamble was the introductory or the introduction of the Constitution of India. Now it stated about in what way India is defined to be as. It stated the ideologies, principles, and the thought process behind which the whole constitution was drafted. And it gave a structure about the outline of the Indian state, or it defined the actual existence of India as to how it is and in what way India can be defined to be as. Now in this we studied about that the Indian country is defined to be as a country which is sovereign in nature, which is socialistic in nature, which is secular in nature, which is democratic in nature, and lastly, republic in nature. Each of these 5 different words defines the actual existence or the basic ideologies upon which India had a base of bringing about or framing the Constitution of India. Now where we studied about the sovereign means India is not ruled by a foreign country or a foreign person. It has its own ruling authority. Then about socialistic, where each and every person in the society has to be given equal opportunity regardless of whatever background he belongs from, whatever religion he belongs from, whatever caste he belongs from, or whichever gender he is. Then we studied about secular, a secular which is related to religion. Person can practice any kind of religion, a person can follow any kind of religion and freely he can adopt it. And on the other way, no discrimination will be made in any kind of things that is being made by the government for the general public or citizens of this country on the basis of religion discrimination. So secular means a country which does not have any state religion or a country religion. Each and every religion states to be the religion of India. The next we studied about democratic. What does it mean? It means a country which is defined to be as a system where the government is been chosen by the voting system of the citizens, on attaining certain age, a person can go and vote and choose its own leader who will rule them in the upcoming times. That was the meaning of democracy. Then republic states India having its own law, it has its own head of the state, which is not from a foreign country or from someone else. And there is no single person who dictates or who rules the country. Like in monarchy system, what happens? The king is the actual authority or supreme power who takes decision, and his decision is binding and final for everyone. Where after his death also, what happens? His blood relation or his own son becomes the next king or takes his throne or has the power. But in republic, it is not so. It is not an opportunity in regarding to that which a person gets by birth. If the term period of the president, being the head of the state, is over, again a selection or election system is followed according to the law procedure, and the next president is elected or selected. So these things defines about the nature of the state or the nature of the country. Now today we are going to study about the main objectives of the constitution, where first one, it states about justice. What does it mean? It means that justice would be equally distributed among each and every citizens of this country, where nobody will be discriminated on the basis of religion, or on the ground of gender, or on the ground of which caste he belongs from, which race he belongs from, and so on. So it symbolizes or states that each and every individual in this country is to be given equal importance in regard to any kind of opportunities or benefits that has to be provided. And when it comes to providing justice in any form, it has to be unbiased, not giving opportunities to one category of person and avoiding the other people. The second one is liberty. Liberty. Now what does this liberty means? Liberty means, now as we know that constitution was drafted, now it also gave certain fundamental rights to general people, and these fundamental rights were to be used by the citizens or the people who were there in this country, and there was no kind of restriction to anybody who could not practice such kind of fundamental rights that were given. There are various different type of fundamental rights that are been given to us: right to occupation, right to practice any kind of religion, right to education and society development, and right against exploitation. Now, these are some of the fundamental rights were given. There are about 6 fundamental rights in total that were given to the citizen, or that is given to the citizen of this country, and which is not discriminative in regarding to any kind of grounds basis or on the basis of the status of a person. The third one is about, that state is about fraternity. Now, fraternity means what? Fraternity means a country, our country as India, being a democratic form of country. Now it works on certain principles, and one of the principles is fraternity. Now what is this fraternity? It means that there should be a brotherhood relationship among each and every individual. Brotherhood in the sense, there should be unity among the citizens or people of this country. There should be unity. Like for example, in every field or any part of our life, whatever activities or whatever things we follow or do, there is an importance of unity, that is working together, being together. Now, being together, what happens makes us more stronger and more stabilized. And this is what the principle or the objective of the constitution, which is fraternity, defines. That living in a society, living in a community, and living in a country, we all should be equally united with each other. We should have a common understanding and love for our own country and love for our neighbors, not only neighbors, people living in and around our area and within our own country. If there is unity among us, it is a very strong opportunity where any kind of social barriers or economical barriers or a conflict that arises can be brought about into peaceful settlements, and we would stand stronger against the outside enemies or outside unwanted forces that try to break our nation into various different divisions. We should avoid this. We should not listen to unwanted people who try to disturb the unity of this country. So this word defines or states about unity, that is a brotherhood that should be prevailing among each and every community of people, society of people, and among the nations or different states of the people that we live into one country. And we should consider, first of all, we should consider ourselves as Indians, not categorizing ourselves on the basis of any religion or the basis of any language that we speak. There should not be such kind of feeling within us. We should be thinking, or we should have a simple principle that we all are Indians and we should live peacefully together. Now these three important things are very much important. Now the first and fourth one is about equality. That is also we have discussed earlier. What does the equality means? Equality means considering each and every citizens equal before the eyes of law. When the constitution was drafted, it did not focus on one single or one separate caste of people or religion of people or group of people. It was generally made for each and every individual of people, every individual citizen of this country. That means what? It is trying to bring about equality, a thinking or a principle which would change the country by giving equal opportunity to everyone, not getting biased to any particular religion or any particular gender, being male or female, then a status of a person, whether rich or poor, or from any kind of caste or race or creed of people. So discrimination, that means what? There is no discrimination or a sense of difference being made between various different categories of people or type of people or form of people that live in India. So these are the four important objectives for which the constitution is been drafted. The first one states about the principle of justice. The second one states about the principle of liberty. The third one states about the principle of fraternity, and the fourth one states about the principle of equality. So these are the important things which states about the objectives of our constitution or the aims for which the constitution was drafted. Now, as we all know that India is a large country where there are so many different kind of social groups or religious groups or people living in diverse form. There are a lot of diversities in regarding to our own selves. But as I told you, even though there are a lot of diversities, there are a lot of different kind of people living in and around us. It may be different in regarding to religion that we practice from the other. different kind of customs and traditions that we follow, different kind of languages that we speak, whether we are male or a female, that is in regarding to gender. There should not be any kind of discrimination between any of us, and we should consider ourselves first of all to be as a citizen of India and to be as called as Indians. Then our country would stand strong from any kind of problems that we face from within and from outside. Now there are various other important things also that were been seen when the constitution was made. Now earlier it was seen that the practice of untouchability was there. The practice of social discrimination was there. The practice of class system was there, where there were a higher class of society people than the lower, then lower to them, than the lowest ones. Differentiately categorized in different caste of people, different religious backgrounds and all. Now, the constitution also focused on these things that were practiced, and these were totally eliminated or taken away, where untouchability, which was practiced earlier, where a higher caste person does not go to a lower caste person's house, do not talk to them, do not mingle with them, and a lower caste person is prohibited or is restricted from entering into higher class society area or higher class houses and so on. That means what? Untouchability. That was considered to be untouchability. But later on, when the constitution was drafted, these thoughts were very much adopted and it was seen by the makers. And now, in the present times, untouchability is considered as a punishable offense. That means what? A person who practices untouchability or the procedure of untouchability or the custom of untouchability, the person is punished under the law system. There is a law that is prescribed under the Constitution of India. Then there were various different social evils that was prevailing earlier. Well, child labor was there, child marriage was there, and so on. There were so many. All these individual things were taken up, and they had also seen that whatever were not regarded as to be or they were the obstruction, this category or the bracket of things that were regarded to be as one of the society's evil was categorized to be as a punishable offense, and that would stop or be the barrier in regarding to the development of the country. And thus what happened is that when this constitution was drafted, these things were also being seen, so that there would be unity, the oneness of people, or the sense of patriotic feeling to be the member of this country or the citizen of country would be prevailing into our minds. And thus is how the country stays or progresses in a different way, in a better, towards the better future. So for all these things, these important objectives has to be followed, or this important objective has to be adopted not only by the government of India or the government of this country, but it should also be there into the minds of the common people that we live or that we have in and around our society. So this is all about this chapter, which states about the constitution, various important aspects of the constitution. And I would again ask the student to understand this chapter well, and if you are facing any kind of doubt, please do let me know, so that when we move forward again I can be able to make you understand about those things where you have doubts and clarify it. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.